This guy was absolutely scared to death. And you're looking at him right now. Brian Baum, tell these people a story.
Oh boy. How far do you want me to go back?
I want you to go back a long way.
Okay.
You got 5 minutes.
Okay, back in 1950. No, I was mayor of the city of Longmont, and I was going along quite fine. Came back from a trip to Japan where we went to visit our sister city, and went to a meeting in Fort Collins, and I had some blood in my urine. Never had that before. Has anybody ever had blood in their urine? Scariest damn thing ever, isn't it? It's just scary. I mean, you know, you're not used to that. And so anyway, I was scared to death. Left the meeting, was driving down the highway, and I called my wife. I said, book me to my doctor immediately. I want to go in and get a urinalysis. I want to know what's going on. So anyway, did the urinalysis the next day. The following day, that was on a Friday, and then the following Monday. See, you never forget these dates, by the way, because it's so ingrained. It's such a, I don't know, a traumatic thing in your life that it just ingrains right into your brain. That following Monday, I went in and he said, you know, I want you to do a CAT scan tomorrow. It came back negative. There wasn't anything wrong. So we want to do a CAT scan to see what's going on. And so we did a CAT scan the next day. The following day, or that day, while we were doing the CAT scan, he actually called and left a message on my answering machine and said, "Where's my machine?" on my phone. And while I was in doing the CAT scan, and so then he called back again while I was on my way home, and before I could get into my driveway, I answered the phone, and I was only a mile away from where we got the CAT scan, and. He said, I said, this can't be good news because you're calling me this soon. He says, no, it's not. He says, it's the worst news. He says, you've got a tumor, a malignant tumor on your kidney, and it's the size of a football. Whoa. Thing. So he said, I want you to come in and meet with the surgeon. I've already booked it for 9:30 in the morning. And this Friday, we're going to do an MRI. Make sure that it hasn't invaded your vena cava or any of your other organs, and then next week we're going to take it out. And he says, by the way, it is so big that we're going to have to remove a rib. And so, and that leads me to the rest of the story. After my surgery, everything was fine. They felt like they got everything. Okay. So. But in the meantime, I had gained some weight. And prior to that, I had gained weight also. I was about 45 to 50 pounds heavier than I am today. I was weighing in around 222 pounds. Okay? So I had always been doing this radio show with Tom, and in fact, when I first became mayor, Tom said, you know, I want you to do Monday with the mayor. I want people to be able to talk to you. Okay, so we did that, and I did that for 2 years, and then we followed that up with Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, and we really had a good time. But one of the days we were sitting here, and who walked in?
Scott.
Yeah, Scott did. Scott walked in, and Tom says, and I said, gosh, you know, I'm having a tough time. I can't work out because there's too much pressure on this rib, and I'm having a hell of a time. So he said, Scott comes in and says, hey, do you want to lose weight fast or slow? And I said, well, I want to lose as quickly as I can because I want to be able to work out. I want to be able to be with my kids. I want to be able to be ambulatory, you know, and I want to be able to sleep. I need to get this pressure off the rib because it hurts. The rib that's not there, that is. So anyway, we started on ASAP, and we dropped it like crazy. In fact, my wife put up a website. She was so impressed. She put up a website and said, you know, this is what we've done. Give us a call. So, and you know this for sure, because she's lived it. But, so anyway, almost 3 years later, I'd been getting my regular CAT scans and everything, and just last July, or last June, I went in for a CAT scan, and there was a lymph node that doubled in size. And my oncologist was right on top of it, and he said, you know what, we need to go in and biopsy this. We need to find out And so I said, okay, let's do that. So they did the biopsy and found out that my cancer had metastasized. And so all of a sudden, I'm in stage 4 renal cell carcinoma, inoperable, the whole bit. And that's when I called Tom. And I said, gosh, what am I gonna do? It was very frightening because only 5% of the people survive renal cell carcinoma. It's a death wish, it really is. And so, or I guess it's not a wish, but I guess it's a
death sentence.
Yeah, that's a better word. Death wish, yeah. So anyway, they were gonna put me on this treatment, and they did. Prior to that, though, Dr. Wallach came down, and he just happened to be in Keystone, Colorado, at a continuing education or something like that. Tom gives him a call and says, listen, he says, there's somebody I want you to have dinner with. He's a dear friend of mine, and he goes, I want you to come down and have dinner with him. And he says, well, he goes, well, I'll send the car for you any way we can. We need you down here this evening. He said, sure, I'll be happy to come. So anyway, he came down. That was, I don't know, if from the longevity people, this is the day that he was out in the parking lot. And it happened to be Marianne's birthday.
My birthday.
Sorry, Marianne.
Oh,
But
that was
anyway,
great.
we got him here, and it was wonderful to see him and to meet him, because we had been on the longevity products, but it never had been targeted towards my condition. So we went down to Michael Shea's, it's a plug for Michael Shea's, it was very good. And we had dinner with him, and I had my son with me, and which was a great thing. Anytime you can expose your children to great people, it's a wonderful thing for them, and it's something he'll never forget. Because he also talked about how me, his father, was going to survive this, and how we were going to live. I was going to live a long time. And he said, Brian, he says, not only are you going to live through your children, but you're going to live to see your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. He says, just do what I tell you to do. And so that's what I did. And I sat there, and he listed a number of different things that I need to do, everything you can get here, actually. And I started on the products and targeting my cancer. I started with the selenium and the OsteoFX,
Z radical.
the Z radical,
Yeah.
yeah, all this stuff, the grapeseed extract, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the next thing he said was, we're going to change your diet. And he said, we're going to cut out the oils. No oils. Okay? That means none. I said, well, what about coconut oil? We just bought this big thing of coconut. No oils. He says, and I did this because Tom said, if you get on his nerves, he will yell at you. And he doesn't matter where you are. He wants you to understand, and he will talk very directly and very seriously to you, and you have to listen. And I said, but we just got this. He says, no oils. He said, is he listening? I said, no oils. Yeah. And so I said, oh, I guess we don't have any oil. I said, does that mean olive oil and all that stuff? And he told me a great story about the founder of Apple Computer, about how he was living through his cancer. He got all the best of everything, but the one thing that he missed was that he had this great cook that he had hired that was stir frying all of his vegetables and all of his things in olive oil. And olive oil, unless it's fresh, it will spoil, and that spoilage gets into your system, and it keeps your system from functioning the way it should. So that was one of the first things. I said, what do you cook with? And he said, I just love him for this. He says, butter. You cook with butter. I'm like, butter? Yes, I love butter. Who doesn't love butter? Does anybody not love butter? Okay, you love butter. So everything is cooking with butter and several eggs a day. I eat several eggs a day at his advice. And I also became gluten-free. And I stuck to this regimen. And the doctors put me immediately on an an immunotherapy, and it was interleukin-2 is what they put me on, and it's a heinous thing, I had to go into the hospital in intensive care for 5 days. Every 8 hours, they were infusing this into my system. I gained 35 pounds every time I went in for a week. So it took me about 3 or 4 days to lose that water weight and to get back to normal. But the interesting thing about that was this. It stopped my cancer. It stopped it from growing. And honestly, we don't know if it was the regimen that Dr. Wallach put me on or if it was the interleukin-2. But I know for damn sure it was a combination of both. Because only 15% of the people that take interleukin-2 have any sort of reaction whatsoever. I was one of the 15%. I was not one of the 5% that was cured. But I believe that what I was doing and what Dr. Wallach helped me do is put my body into fertile ground. He was cultivating my body and making it so that the interleukin-2, the immunotherapy, was going to allow my body to cure itself. And that's what immune therapy is. It's allowing your body to take care of itself. And so I'm one of the 15%. It stopped my cancer cold, okay? What else it did is it allowed me to be able to go into another therapy now, which I start next month. And it's a therapy that's in stage 3 trials, okay? And I'm going to be, it's got great efficacy. And because of the fact that I'm younger than most people that are on it, and my numbers are perfect. Guys, I was on blood pressure pills, I was on, you know, and all of that's gone now. All of that's gone. My numbers are completely normal. My oncologist told me, she said, and she's a renal cell oncologist, she said, if you went to your doctor now with the numbers that you have and with your blood pressure, your blood numbers, everything, and they do this to me all the time, they would say you're completely healthy. And that you know, and they would totally have missed the fact that I have stage 4 renal cell carcinoma. So that's just not by chance, guys. It's because I did exactly, and I'm doing exactly what Dr. Wallach told me to do, exactly the way he told me to do it. And if you're going to have any success in this life whatsoever, the people that are successful that you learn from, like Tom and Denise, do exactly what they say. Don't question it, don't change it, don't do anything with it. Just do exactly what they tell you to do when they tell you to do it, and you will be a success in your life. I owe my life right now to Dr. Wallach. Nothing says that I'm out of the woods. I'm not. I have to kill this cancer. But my body's in a position to be able to do that, and it wasn't before. And the reason why it is because of what I'm doing right now. And Sasha lives with us, and she knows what I take. She knows what I do, and she knows why, because of my 2 beautiful children that are 6 and 10, and my lovely wife. I'm not done yet, and there's no way that I'm leaving this earth. And so I think that everybody deserves the right to be healthy. I wasn't healthy before I met Tom and Denise. I wasn't. And Scott just absolutely said, here we go. He just put me on it. He said, because no one's going to tell you, no one in this room is going to tell you, you got to do this, you got to do that, you whatever, as far as what you're going to do with your health. That's not why we're here. Okay? But if you listen, and I beg you to, do this for yourself. Drink tangerine every day. Drink it. Don't drink water. I mean, fish do weird things in water. So you don't want to drink water. Drink tangerine. You know, it gives you all the minerals and vitamins that you need to sustain your life and for your body to work unbelievably. And I firmly believe in all the things that I've been taking has made it possible for me to live today. I would be gone today. You know, this happened the longevity is not there. So if you want longevity, longevity.
Thank you, Brian. Unbelievable.